We're in today with the GeForce GT 420. This is a 2010 video card with 48 shaders. It's got 1 gig of DDR3 Samsung, 128 bits, DirectX 11, running at 700 MHz on the core clock and 800 MHz on the memory clock. We're gonna pair it up with this Intel Xeon W3690 with 6 cores and 12 threads. I'm gonna see how this system is holding in a couple of games. Let's jump in. All right, let's start with Fortnite and take a look and see how the system is holding with 720p on performance mode with 50% render scale. I know it's not gonna hold pretty well, so a 420 with 720p maybe we get playable FPS, you know. So yeah, let's jump in. Not that great when it comes to Fortnite on average. Look at this. GT 420 is delivering 40-50 FPS on average with 720p and 50% render scale. I mean, it's working. I can't say nothing about this video card because it's working. It's starting the game, but that's it. You know, you don't get the FPS that you want. 25 on minimal, 33 on 1%, 0.8 gig of VRAM utilized, and 90 to 100 percent load on the GPU core. This is not the right way, seriously. On the system side, we're getting 8 gig of system RAM utilized and 20-30%, around 40% load on the cores. On the CPU side, you can actually see that there is no threads being utilized at maximum. There's a couple of them that wants to reach, but it's not needed. 4000 megahertz on this W3690, I think it's okay. So yes, overall the system is doing okay. Overall, the GT420, it's not the right, no, it's not the brightest, you know, GPU to play the game. Seriously, I will really like you to prefer to find another game in order to benefit from the power of this video card. Seriously. Damn, Daniel. My first kill in the new Fortnite. But in Team Fortress, we're getting 50 FPS with 1080p and low details. This is gonna be very interesting. Oh, look at that. I managed to see him very randomly. 40 FPS on average, 20 on minimal, 32 on 1%. I will say this is a very good win because I'm getting 99% load on the GPU core and only 500 megabytes of VRAM utilized in order to deliver this performance. 63 degrees on the video card. I would say this is a big win for the GPU. On the system side, we're utilizing what, 5.9 gig of system RAM. I would say this is a big win for the system because the CPU can actually deliver the performance. But yeah, the CPU is not very stressed here, and I really like it how it's working like this. So in Team Fortress you can actually play it, but I think lowering its resolution will be ideal for this 420. In Farlight, apparently we are getting around 90 FPS on average. This is a good number for this video card, considering the power this video card has. You know, 90 FPS on average with 34 on minimal and 68 on 1% with 720p with low details. I would say this is a win for this video card because it's actually working in a game. So on the GPU side, it's utilizing 0.7 gig of VRAM, 98% load on the core, maximum load on the video card, 64 degrees, and on the system, 6.7 gig of system RAM it's utilized to deliver this performance. Can't really complain here in this case. 30-40% load on the CPU side. It's not that bad, you know. On the CPU, let's take a look on the CPU side. Barely any threads, any loads on the core. I will say the cores and the threads are doing fantastic in the game because with lower resolution you get 35 FPS on average, and it's not that bad, seriously. And this GPU can actually deliver this performance in the game. But in Paladins we are getting 40 FPS on 1080p with low details with 100% render scale. This is not okay. I have to lower the render scale because it's way too much. 50% render scale. Hopefully we're gonna get playable FPS there. What do you think? Well, apparently in this case we're getting 70 FPS on average with 12 minimals and 48 on 1%. Those are not really good numbers, seriously. I'm not gonna lie, I want better numbers if I want to be a little more competitive with this game. I need higher FPS here and better minimals. 14 FPS on minimals is not okay. The system is doing a fantastic job with 6.2 gig of system RAM use and only 30-40% load on the CPU. I will say that is a big win from this computer. Even though I got horrible minimals, apparently I'm still holding the mouse a little. Yeah, killing spree with this 420. But in Modern Warfare 3, you get the opportunity to die fast. In Modern Warfare 3, you get the opportunity to play the game with maximum FPS apparently. In some cases, it's lowering the FPS, but you get one plonker like that in the corner and your whole FPS is dropping. But it's working with 90 FPS on average, apparently, and 30 minimals and 57 on 1%. I will say this is a big win because the video card is delivering this performance with maximum core load and only 0.3 gig of system RAM used in this occasion. I will say this is a good performance from an old video card like this, 420, and it's very important to have that list of games that you can play on this video card because there's not a lot of games you can play on a GT 420. Apparently in World of Tanks we are getting around 90 FPS on average with 4 minimals and 24. This is the average number that you will get with 1024 because the GPU doesn't push too much performance here in the game, and it's utilizing 0.6 gig of VRAM in order to deliver this 90 FPS on minimal. Maximum core load, the system is utilizing only 6.2 gig of system RAM and 30% load on the core, maximum 30%. This is a decent performance from the system itself with the CPU, and it's only got 54 degrees in this case. The GPU side on the other hand is got 65 degrees and is getting hot because it's utilized here. 37 minimals apparently and 45 on 1%. World of Tanks is working on 1024. Let's see how Left 4 Dead is working with this. It's gonna be very interesting to see how it's working with the 420 GT. It's 80 FPS on average, 60, 70. Oh, look at this, 70 FPS on average with 13 minimals and 54 on 1%. Only 200 megabytes of VRAM it's utilizing, and that's actually fantastic. But 19% load on the core is taking. Look at that, 19% load on the core. I will say this is a fantastic performance from the GPU and the system itself. The system itself is utilizing only 3.8 gig of system RAM and 30% load on the CPU maximum, because look at that, CPU is actually doing great. There's no problem in the CPU, and I will say this is nice performance with this Intel Xeon. But in Galaxy on Fire on maximum details, you can actually see that the game is running really nice. This is a perfect situation when it comes to GT420 because, yeah, it's utilizing 100% core in order to deliver 63 FPS on average. You can actually see the details are fantastic. It looks fantastic. It's on maximum details with 1080p, and the overall situation here in game is kind of fantastic. 0.6 gig of VRAM used, 100% core load. The whole thing is just fantastic when it comes to this game. 61 FPS on average, 29 on minimal, and 41 on 1%. The system, the CPU, the system, it doesn't utilize too much system RAM, and the CPU is not being too much stressed. I will say this is one of the games that needs to be played on a video card like this, and I will say this is one of those games that needs to be on that list. But in GTR Evolution, apparently we're getting on 1024 with lower details. We're getting some interesting performance here, hundreds of FPS from this video card. I will say this is a big win for a video card like this because I need games that are running like this. So 100 FPS on 160 FPS on average with 38 on minimal and 118 on 1%. This is not that bad, only my driving skills is horrible, but I can see barely nothing because of that overlay. But I just wanted to show you how the system is working in this racing game. 95% load on the core, maximum core load, with only 0.5 gig of VRAM utilized in the game. Damn it, Daniel, you need to practice more this game, seriously. Yes, on the system side, 0.5 gig of system RAM. Oh, no. On the system side, we're only using 4.5 gig of system RAM. That's actually good. only 10% load on the CPU. I would say this is the biggest win, seriously. In this situation, you can actually see that the CPU is not very stressed, less than 10% load. This is the most adequate game for this video card, seriously. Look at this, how nice it's performing. I will say it's important to have this game in your list because it allows you to use older hardware. So overall, the system is doing great, the GPU is doing great, even though it's maxed out. It's just dropping and delivering those FPS in order to make this old hardware valid, seriously. We are in GTA 5 apparently with 800 by 600 with 50% render scale, 0.5 render scale, and look at it how it looks. Looks horrible, but I got like 40-50 FPS. In some cases in the garage it goes beyond 30 FPS on playable FPS, that is 20 or something. In some cases in the garage it drops to 20. In here apparently we are getting 20-30 FPS on average. You can actually see that the core is maxed out. On the average with the CPU and the GPU we are getting 0.7 gig of VRAM utilized and maximum core load on the GPU. System wise, we're getting 8 gig of system RAM being used and 30, I'd say nearly 50% load on the CPU. But on the CPU side, the CPU can actually, because of the low resolution, can actually see a couple of threads are reaching. They want to pass 50%, 60. How much they get? Let me see, 56% load on a couple of threads. I'm 100% sure you can find a list of games that can actually work really nice on this video card. Older games will be ideal because this video card is a 1 unit slot GPU and it can fit in all computers, small form factor computers, build an old machine, retro PC, doesn't matter, it fits in every small computer. I'm 100% sure you can find a good use for it. Good for emails, office, watching movies online. It's got HDMI, so you can use this video card as an entertaining machine if you want, and some light games or some older games, even a retro gaming machine. On today's games, kind of hard, but on the other hand, I will recommend this video card because it's still available and it's still cheap, and it's worth having a spare video card like this GT420 if you're interested. The video card is good, I have no problems, temperature is okay, you know, but yeah, you need to have something to use it for, you know, that's it. If you have a spare computer and you want to rebuild it and you find a 420 near shop or online, I think this is it's a good choice. So yes, if you manage to find this useful, make sure you smash that like button. If you have any suggestion, leave a comment down below, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you very soon.